Paulson that the moon landing had never happened. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, of course, did become the first humans on the moon in 1969. That's the Saturn V rocket that lifted them into space. And this is some of that famous footage of them as they walked on the lunar surface. This flight was a defining moment in the space race between America and the Soviet Union. My friend, Professor Ken Gailey of the University of Iowa, is here to talk about this. Ken, when I read this headline, I thought about you, and I said to myself, man, we got to have you on, and we got to do somewhat of a debunking segment, because as you and I were emailing about back and forth, this is one of the nation's greatest achievements. Many conspiracies do hinge on observations relating to some of the footage that we were just looking at on the screen there. Some of these, and they're a little bit tough to make out at some points, but a lot of people are asking, hey, why aren't there any stars in the Apollo photos? Why does the flag look like it's waving? Ken, could you walk us through the astrophysical and the photological explanations for these questions so that viewers can better understand why these points do not undermine the moon landing?
Absolutely. Sure thing, Austin. Yeah, so I get it. It was 1969. That seems like a long time ago to most people. I was alive. I remember it well. And since it seems so long ago and some of the issues sound kind of technical, I understand why people may be a little confused. But look at that picture right there that you just showed. There's the sky, and it should be full of stars, right? And it looks perfectly dark. But there's something else in that picture, which is the planet, in that case, the moon. And as we all know from experience, there it is, there's the moon. We know this from experience. The moon is bright. We can see it from the Earth. It lights up the day. It lights up the night on the Earth on a full moon. It's bright. Guess what is hard to photograph when there's something bright in the field of view of the camera? Stars. Anyone who tries to photograph stars knows this. Well, you can't have a bright object in the same picture, and you're not going to see stars. It's photography 101. You mentioned the flag as well, which is, NASA wanted the flag to look like it was waving. They thought that would be more dramatic. So they put a rod in the top of the flag so that it would look like it was waving. I'm sure they never dreamed when they did that, well, we can't do this because people are going to claim later on that this was all a hoax if it looks like the flag is waving. That never occurred to them. And in fact, you can see the rod. If you look at a picture of the flag, the rod is perfectly obvious. So for me, the biggest question is not why do these things fool people? It's why do people claim that there's anything reasonable to the hoax at all? It's absolutely clear. Of course, these pictures here are not great quality. So that's because it was 1969 and they had to carry the cameras with them to the moon. But that's not evidence that it was a hoax.
I was emailing you, as I said, about this earlier today, and you told me that if this were a conspiracy, it would be a conspiracy of the scale of which would be completely unheard of. Talk to me about the impossible amount of people, the impossible amount of data that would have had to been in on this or faked it in order to pull such a thing off.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And you mentioned in the beginning that Kim Kardashian is one person who's put this out. And I don't blame her. There's a lot of people that find this kind of interesting to look at. But I thought it was interesting that she was basing it on 3 words that Buzz Aldrin said. That Buzz Aldrin said it didn't happen. 3 words totally out of context. And how do 3 words placed against the absolute mountain of evidence that we did go to the moon? There's all the astronauts that actually went there, the astronauts that know the astronauts that went there, the engineers that built that rocket that we're seeing right now. There was about 400,000 people